Are we live?
We are.
We are live. Welcome to episode 10 of Monday Night Live Chat. We made it to double digits, so that's exciting. And it is, what's the date today? It is May 23rd, so we're into crazy season. We've seen the rush. Jersey, how about you?
Yes, your intro.
I love my freaking camera. I hate my camera so much.
Did you see that I had snow in the intro just for you, since you're apparently not going to stop snowing by you? You're just you're out sledding like yesterday.
Yep, we had on Friday, I guess. Not in my area we had some snow, but then down in Denver, like south of that, there was like a foot of snow. Pretty insane. So everybody in Denver got a good licking of snow, but that's like super odd for us to have. That was like a foot of snow. Yeah, super odd. So I had to get that feed up. Sorry, I'm a little tired.
No worries.
You know what's really good that happened was that if you ever had one of those jobs that like you didn't want to do, you scheduled it way far out, you got to it, and you send them a reminder the day before, and they say, oh, you know what? I have to reschedule. And inside you're like, yes, I didn't really want to do that job anyways.
Yeah.
So then I message the customer and they say, yeah, I got to reschedule. And I said, okay, that's fine. When do you want to reschedule to? Well, I think I'm going to have the house power washed before you do the windows. So that to me is, I'm never going to hear from you again.
Because the power washer is going to do it.
Yeah. And what it was a trickling effect of that. I did a lady's windows about a year ago. And when I bid it over the phone, I came to the job. It was too cheap, but it was such a small job that I kept to the price. But I told her, I said, hey, next year it goes up in price. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but like anytime you ever give a discount, all of a sudden, all the friends call you within within a side of a year or a couple weeks or like whatever.
Yeah.
So then it comes to find out this year, I go to her house one day. Turns out I had her daughter that afternoon, didn't even know. So I charged her daughter full price. I also upped her ticket, but she wasn't even there. So I just let her know like via text. And then boom, her daughter tells me while I'm doing her daughter's house, oh yeah, are you doing this customer? Yeah, I am. I have her like booked out like 3 weeks from now. Oh, okay. So what I gather is that they realize that I am a full price window cleaner and that they don't want to pay the full price. So this lady decided to reschedule and give some BS answer. But now tomorrow I don't got to do that job and I can reschedule other stuff. So that's nice. By the way, I didn't tell you, but we have a special guest coming on tonight that's going to send you a thing to get on here. And its name is Jacob Williams.
Oh, congrats. Nice. Yeah. I've not heard of him yet, but that's good.
He's not coming on. That's a joke, but he really wanted to tell you that.
You've probably seen the love that I get from his videos. By the way, shout outs to say what's up. Tyler Smith is number one today. Levi, what's going on? Damien, the OG himself. James Folan finally made it. Finally, we've been waiting. We have 10 episodes of us just sitting here doing this, waiting for him to show up, but he's finally here. Chris Simmons is telling you how hot it is in Tampa after we talked about you getting snow. Squeegee Puller says, what's up? Watchman is spam. But nice to see you anyway. Keep the algorithm up. And Ryan Fuster. So
thumbs up.
And Window Guys, of course, is here.
And McRae's all the way from Australia. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Couldn't imagine what time it is there. It's got to be morning, something like that time. Morning tomorrow, something like that.
Yeah.
So our topic for tonight, if you all just want to say what you're doing in the comments, is are you actively advertising right now? Do you need to advertise right now? Are you so busy that you don't need any advertising? Or are you trying to just like this year grow your company like crazy in your advertising, Facebook, Google? I know last episode we talked about some stuff about advertising because we were talking about inflation and increasing prices. So it always comes up on here, but I thought we could kind of like Josh, I think really has a lot of great experience with advertising. So if there's anybody really in the industry to really ask about that kind of stuff, it is Josh or Jersey. So that's always really nice outlet to have as well for a resource.
Yeah, this time of year is kind of crazy. And the question is, if you guys are watching, comment if you are actually advertising. But everybody wants to advertise when they're slow. Like people don't quite understand that if you're slow, it means it's not in people's heads. So it's like, advertising a cheeseburger for 1 penny at 6 a.m. You probably aren't still going to get a lot of people buying cheeseburgers. It's just not the right time. It's not in people's heads. So you have to advertise when it's busy.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like, I kind of wonder though, I think we talked about this a lot though, like how many people I'd love to do someday, I should do it, like to see how many people actively do Facebook over Google than Google over Facebook. So I feel like those are the two main outlets for advertising right now that people really go for, and probably Google the most.
Yeah. You think Google over Facebook?
That's just what I hear most people chat about is Google. Like I really won't hear, I would say actually Google, Facebook, Nextdoor is very common with a lot of people that do residential. They really like to do ads on Nextdoor, and it takes you a bit to get qualified to do ads on there. I never hear anything about Yelp anymore. Yeah. I don't hear a lot about Thumbtack. None of those I really hear about.
You haven't heard about either is Angie's List, which is now just called Angie, and Home Advisor. Like those stuff just seems to like just die hardcore. They're just like not around. I mean, I know people are still advertising with them, but I have not heard that big giant debate. So they must be losing a ton of market share.
Because then what was it? Home Advisor?
Service Magic turned into Home Advisor.
But then I think Home Advisor turned into, and then Angie's, I think, bought that and they grouped up. Just in this past like year, because I started getting calls from that. But now it's ended. I don't get any more of those calls from those companies as far as that stuff goes, I would have to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Damien just said yard signs and do a 6x6 at every job. Tyler said my online presence was all wiped. So WOM since last of the month or so. Dang. I don't know what that WOM is.
WOM.
That's some lingo that I'm too old to understand. Probably.
Yeah. break it down for us, Tyler. Break it down.
Yeah.
I could imagine though, online presence wiped. I've actually seen a lot of people in pro talking about how reviews have been starting to be taken down. And I know Google My Business did not a huge thing. I didn't have much problem with mine, but where they reverted off of Google My Business, but my Google My Business is still up as far as that goes. Yeah. Oh, word of mouth. He's relying on word of mouth.
So, I'm not too old for that. I'm just too stupid to realize what that was. But yeah, Damien said he stopped Thumbtack after the change. Jacob just said Angie is still sending him a bunch of stuff. Keith T said that I use Google LSA for now, though I'm paused. I want to ask him, why are you paused now in the busiest of the seasons? Is it because you feel like you can't keep up, or are you not pushing jobs like saying, hey, I can't get to them right now because you're so busy. We're 3 weeks, 4 weeks out. Like, does it make sense to stay advertising so you can fill the slower time now, or what's your thoughts?
See, what's your thought about that as far as how far out would you like to get scheduled? And then how far out would you stop scheduling and say to people, we're like on hold right now. We're not scheduling.
Yeah, that's a really tricky one because it's a catch-22 really. Like if you're, 2 months out right now, you're not going to be 2 months out in December. So it's like, well, do you hire people now and then you're going to go slow, or do you like, well, I stretch it out now because then I know that it'll give me more work for them. It's really, really hard. But I have to tell you, if I call somebody right now personally, and I'm not my target market, so take it with a grain of salt. But if I called Steve and I was like, dude, I need my windows done. And you're like, all right, cool. We'll be there in July 2nd. I'll be like, all right, well, let me look around. Like, you will lose me as a customer, and I know you're losing a bunch of people because it's out too far. So you want to be out far enough that makes sense, but you also want to be out close enough that you're not just like, I mean, you got the lead. You paid the money to get the people to call you however they did. Now you're just kind of like losing them,
I would say last year before now, I had actually paused ads late April because I had gotten to the point where I was 2 months out, and I started to get scared because I said to myself, I was like, well, I get 2 months out and then I have a weather week, right? I am just screwed. So even right now, I'm actually not taking any more appointments for my business because I'm booked far enough out with what I can handle, but I also don't market as well. So
yeah, but it's tough. It is tough though. It is, it's advertising when you're busy for the times when you're not, but yet not getting so far. And again, like GRC said, like he's got all he or she wants to do, so okay, that's cool. Like there's no wrong way to do this. Not everybody has to be an empire either, but
Right.
on everybody else's, it's like, okay, well, I have enough. Does that mean I bring on more people? Like that's the other thing when we talk about employees. It's like, okay, well, where do you have to get in your brain until you hire more people? Like what does that look like?
Yep, exactly. Nicholas G asked a great question. Let me bounce a quick idea off you guys. For advertising, I'm planning on doing a lot of door hangers this summer for homes. Any advice or insight on a simple plan like that? I know from my past, I was with one company. It's the first company I was ever with, where we just went out, and if we had a free day, we just door hangered. If we had half a day, we did door hangers after that. We were at that point putting bids on door hangers. I don't really suggest that. You could put like your minimum pricing or just something like that. And then also every time that you do a job, of course, doing like your 5 rounds. I think that's a good plan for door hangers. I'm not quite sure what else you could do beyond that.
It's tough. What you just said though, is that you're doing door hangers in summer. So like the weird thing is like, it's not going to be as busy, so your ROI is going to suck. But then in your brain, you're like, well, should I not do this because the ROI is sucking? Like I'm putting all this stuff out, I'm not getting it. It's not that your material's not good. It's the wrong time of the year. So it's a catch. Again, all businesses is, if we had all the money in the world, we wouldn't need to worry about the time in the world, right? You either have money or you have time. If you're doing door hangers, you have more time than money, right? You're not paying EDDM prices. So
yeah, exactly. But always too is like, I could say with a grain of salt, like it is what you make it. Like we always say, if you want a lot of work, right, you're going to do a lot of advertising. If you're the type that you like to have that, busy spring, kind of it taper off in July, get a good fall in, you may not want to do a bunch of marketing because you got a bunch of customers. So there's that too, as far as that goes. But yeah.
So I know if people don't know about your business, you are a one-man show, built it amazingly quick because you switched off from a company you had like co-owned with somebody to your own thing. And now you're absolutely as much work as you possibly can. But in your brain, in the trajectory you're doing right now, again, WCR sales aside, if this was your thing, where would you be when you decided to hire? Like what would trigger I need to hire somebody in your brain?
So are we talking about if I wasn't doing what I was doing right now? Like if
you were doing no sales and it was just your company, like where would the point be where you're like, dang it, man, I need to hire? Like what triggers that in your head?
I would have hired last year in June if things wouldn't have taken a different course. And that was because in a matter of starting from January 1st until May 31st, by May 31st, I could have worked 7 days a week, all day long if I wanted to. I had the amount of work coming in. I had the amount of leads coming in. I had tons and tons of stuff coming in. That was the point where I was going to hire because I was like, I'm too busy for myself. I don't want to be killing myself. I want to work 5 days a week. That's it. So I was all in, like, I'm going to hire. Boom, things change. But that was for me when it's like, okay, this is too much. I'm not even being able to get like my daily tasks done. I think that's the point where you say I hire. And for me, thinking of like the wintertime, I was just thinking, okay, in the wintertime, I'll have this person all trained because I was just going to do one person. I'll have this person all trained by winter. They can work during the winter, take out my van. We'll do that so that we'll keep, everything pretty during that time, like cost pretty mainline. I won't make a lot, but I would do that or, fill in work. At that point, I don't know because I didn't go through it, but that's definitely, and that's what I've always told people too, like, hey man, like once you get to that point where it's just like, it's too much to handle, why not hire somebody? Why not get somebody else on who can take away that burden so you can build your business more? All of a sudden, I think from there, it just snowballs into, do you have it organized enough to add more people? And are you delegating out well enough and have a good structure to your business?
Yeah. The hardest part is when you get yourself, and again, if everybody that's watching or listening does not think that you can have whatever business you want, you're the type of person who would love to just work yourself. I did one job before I hired my first person. After my first job, I'm like, no, I want to run a business. I don't, so there's absolute different ends of this. But with that all being said, if you build a company and you get yourself out of the field, that absolutely, because now you have an employee. That'd be like if somebody hired right now a sales manager and that's all they did was sales for the company. That's when you get yourself out of the field, you focus on everything else. And now all of a sudden things just, like you said, snowball like crazy, because now you have, your job is to keep everybody else busy. Your job is to keep your other guys busy out in the field.
That's partially why too, I will not right now start like, I think last week Jay was asking me on here, why don't you have employees? Because right now, in the way that I would want to do it, I would not personally be able to do sales and this, and then everything else that I've got myself into. So that's where I would be at. Yeah.
By the way, if we want to pick a VIP for this episode, share this show out, because SteveO is a struggling YouTube actor who is looking for subs in his channel. So if you haven't shared this video, just copy the link, throw it in Bomb Pro 2.1, any other group.
I'll take it up one more notch. If by the next week that we come on in 2 weeks, if this live show has 200 likes, we will give away a trad pole, a 12-foot trad pole on the next live. But it has to be 200 likes. It can't be anything less. 200 likes. I don't know if it will happen. That's a big, tall order to get. I think the most likes we've had on one was been, I don't know, 50 or 60 or something like that. But
good call. It could be happen. Look, Squeegee Life is here. If you're talking about hitters.
Hey, you better.
Yeah, I was joking. We tried to talk to Chris and get him on the show today, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm probably busy." He big times us too. That's why I said we should just bomb Pro. We should just like have everybody who's watching right now just throw a link in Pro and
just share it, share it,
and then he'll be like, "What are you guys doing over there?" I'll be like, "I don't know. Come check out."
I don't know. Something's happening. But yeah, seriously, if we get up to 200 likes, and if we get 200 likes, we'll say that for now. And let's see what we can do by next episode. But that would be sick.
That's thumbs up. Everybody in here right now, thumbs up. We could have this like in 1 week.
Yeah, and it can be color of your choice. We won't choose it for you. Color of your choice. If you want to do the 12-foot, I don't see why not.
Nice.
Question from Keith T. Do you guys hire W-2 with benefits for your first employee? It's kind of a hit to income.
Yeah, I always err on the side of being 100% legit all the time. So I don't ever do subs. I don't ever pay anybody under the table. I don't ever take cash. I've never once in 16 years ever taken $1 that didn't go through my CRM or like my accounting program, my QuickBooks, my all that. I've never ever once done that. Now that doesn't mean that anybody watching, you could have a kayaking accident and lose all of those cash funds that you had. But it doesn't mean that's not wrong or right. It's just that's the way I did, because I just am terrified of getting screwed. So for me, I'm always going to go as legit as possible.
Yeah, I think that's probably just the best route to go.
Yeah, well, it's one of those like do as I say, not as I do kind of things.
Yeah.
Usually people are like, oh, well, you got to do this and this and this. I do it this way. It's usually the opposite way, but.
Right. I would say this. I'll add this in here as like a little caveat. I don't think there's anything wrong in the industry that we're in, that if your employees are doing really, really good and they put out a really good week, I don't think there's anything wrong with giving a certain amount in cash to them that they don't have to report.
Yes.
I think that's a great thing to do to show appreciation. Depends on how your pay scale is with your company, everything like that. But I've seen that a number of times, and I've seen what it does to employees. Not that they expect it all the time, but I've seen it kind of push them and want to do better.
So here's the two sides to that. Is, as you know, our government screws us in every which way possible as a small business owner, right? So as we make the money, we pay taxes on it. And as we spend the money, we pay taxes on it. But here's the thing. If you make the money and you tell the IRS, hey, I made this $100, and you give it as a $100 bill to one of your employees, check your legalities with your accountant and all that fun stuff. But at that point, you're spending it as spending cash. You've already, as a business, taken it in legally, and you're already going to be paying your taxes on your side of it. How it gets distributed at that point is where that gray area really comes in, right? Anything you give to an employee over a certain dollar amount has to be run that way. But you know what? A cash bonus, or if I buy, soda, water, Gatorades, beer for the cooler or the fridge at home at the shop, that's where that kind of gray area really comes into play.
Right. Damien had a good question about the trad poles. When are we making a colored extensions to go to 20? We don't know. That would be a question for Chris or Alex. And I don't know if they know, because I've never heard that come up yet.
But there is a neon electric green Destroyer in 40 feet. So there is a 40-foot fully colored pole. So it could be coming down the road.
And to add this in, and I've talked about this in a video, but any Xero pole can be sold as a bare pole.
Yeah.
So if you wanted a 30-foot micro bare pole, you can buy that to have a 30-foot, and you can buy that from any of us. So yeah, so you could have a 30-foot. Like I have one of those in my van, ready to go to all times with the trad tip on it, 30 feet. Super, super nice to have. But Damien, it is something that I know that a lot of people want, so hopefully it will come down the line, but we do not know when at this time. Sorry, man.
Steve was like, I got one of those. I got extra poles all over the place. Just,
Sorry, man.
No, it actually saves you like $140 or something, $130 off if you don't get it with the brush and stuff. You put a $5 tip on it, an Acme tip, and boom, you're good. And by the way, Tyler Smith, you were absolutely amazing. He said, boom, shared to pro window cleaners.
Yes.
We're going to bomb for pro Facebook today. So I appreciate that. Thank you. And what's up to Jeremy Pummel, who is here, who is also one of the OGs. 53 hours last week for my top guy star rating. Bonus will be when he gets reviews.
Oh, so you give a bonus out if he'll get reviews. Nice. That's cool. That's really good. Yeah.
Name Brand's also here. If anybody hasn't checked out his podcast, any of his content, any of his stuff, he's really good. The only thing I don't like about him is his shorts. His shorts, man.
That picture, buddy. You got to get to the gym. You got to do some squats. You got to get some longer shorts to cover up those kneecaps.
I just, I'm too old. You know how everybody's like I just don't understand the fashion. Like if my nuggies fell out of my shorts because they were so short, like I would, but he can rock them.
You can rock them. You rock them. That's good. What else are we talking about here? I found something interesting Chris Simmons said earlier, which I don't understand in Florida, but I've seen it talked about many times, that like right now in Florida, this is like their off time.
Yeah.
It's super hot and they kind of stop, and they don't stop, but they don't do a lot, right?
Remember, it's all about what's in people's brains. So if you're in, say, Arizona, your winter is their nice season, right? Because all these people who are there, they're there for a short period of time. They have all this, it's like the same concept. So, where in, Denver, it may not be in people's heads because they just got a foot of snow, where, it's in everybody else's, our pollen has been down for probably a month and a half, which you don't know about that, but pollen, right? It's a thing down south. But I have a place up in the mountains, and our pollen's like literally falling now. Like I woke up like super, I couldn't even open my eyes, right? So they're a month and a half behind. So when you're talking about if it's in their heads, they're a month behind in just their mental side. So if you're up in Asheville or Boone or any of those high country places, your seasons now start going when you're already a month ahead in the Piedmont. So it's all people's brains.
I had a customer mention to me pollen the other day, and I just looked at them like, we don't get pollen. That doesn't happen here. Like, they're like, we want you to wait to clean the windows after pollen season. I'm like, that's not a thing here. That doesn't, like, what are you talking about?
Do you know in the South, when the pollen falls, everything is covered with green, yellow, like everything. So and it's so coated that you could literally go to work, get done with the work, get back in your car, and you can barely see, like you're turning your windshield wipers on. And when it rains, it's just sheets of pollen all over. So, I mean, it's like when it comes in the South.
Damien let me know that I was wrong. There is a
Nice.
place in Colorado that gets pollen, and it's called Evergreen.
Damien also explained that 40-year-old balls can't hang out like that. So.
You're in the clear. You're in the clear. Apparently, I'm very wrong because Colorado Springs has pollen as well. So I am wrong. Well, I have not seen a lot of pollen. Like I've seen like in Mike Nichols videos, or I saw, if anybody remembers Fluff Daddy, he had a video that was really good a long time ago where he showed the layers of pollen on frames. And I was like, man, I'm wrong again. Keith says we get pollen in Boulder. So I've just really messed myself up here.
No, it's different though. Because we had pollen in Wisconsin where it's like, oh, getting like an itchy. No, like pollen in the South is completely different things. Like anybody in here is in the South that gets pollen. We're not measuring pollen contests here, but it's a big difference. It's like when it coats everything.
I must not see this because everybody is just telling me that I am wrong. Ronnie Bill,
I didn't want to say it, but
you don't know. You have not been here. You do not know. Ronnie Bill asks, is Fluff still around? Fluff is not around in the window cleaning industry anymore. And I believe he also deleted his YouTube channel, which was very sad. But if anybody knew Fluff or has partied with Fluff, Fluff is one of the greatest of all time.
Yes.
One of the greatest of all time.
When you meet like shy, so here's a secret to everybody who is watching, other than myself, I have to say I'm the exception. Anybody who makes content on any social media platform is like the shyest, like quiet, outspoken. Like that is Fluff until you get to really know him. It's like meeting Steve for the first time. He's like, hey, all right, hey. But, I
remember the like when we kind of first met at the convention back in Atlanta. When was it? I don't even know, 2017, 2018 or something. And I remember at the end of the trade show, Aaron was having us film something, and Aaron put me up there like, all right, say something about it. And I was just like, this is not what I do. Like I talk to myself in my car. Like that's what I do. I do not just do this out on a whim. Like, no, that's not me. And so it was just always funny because then, because you're very used to it with your degree and everything in radio. Like, that's
But it's some people, but that's like Fluff was like that, where you would talk to him and he's just like super quiet. Actually, if Squeegee Life, he still isn't here. The first time I ever met him, I saw him. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's TJ right there. And I walked up and I grabbed him in his boob, and he was very uncomfortable with it. And then that's when I realized he's also an introvert, unless you know him.
TJ has the prettiest eyes. I'm going to say something really weird, but no joke. Cool. No joke. If you meet TJ, his eyes will be the first thing that pop out of you. And I think you agree with me on that one. It's a weird thing to say, but I always remember about him. I was just like, man, it's got some pretty eyes.
Hey, no, it's gonna turn the next convention a little odd.
I don't think TJ will ever be at another convention. TJ, are you going to Nashville? I do feel like Nashville could be.
Dude, have you been there?
I haven't been there, but I'm super excited to go, and I feel like the group could be pretty big.
Nashville is absurd. That hotel is the largest building in America without a casino.
Oh, really?
Like this is before they expanded and made it even bigger. But when we were there like 8 years ago, whatever it was, there was 13 acres under glass that was not rooms. That was common areas in this one hotel. 13 acres. There's like boat rides and towns and stuff, and everything's under glass.
I'm excited.
It's nuts.
I'm excited. But I feel like there could be a lot of people there that we've all been talking to in the last like few years. Because the convention this year, like last year, was okay, but there's still like this kind of like kind of feeling around it. Yeah, and then I do feel like this year though everyone will be going, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I think TJ should go.
You should.
I think
you should. You will go. I feel it. You will go. See, Mike's gonna start a room with you. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Here's the thing: when you are a business owner, everybody makes the excuse, I'm just so busy. No, man, this is what you do. Like, you just don't plan it those days. Like, you can make anything happen as a business owner.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's really fun to go to kind of just network everybody. That's like, It's one of the best parts about it. Like, even if you don't know anybody, you're going to meet people.
It's great to meet people in real life because it is shocking. I don't know that I've ever met anybody in real life. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. I think Mike, I met him and I'm like, you're exactly what I thought you'd be. But like most people you meet and you're like, I didn't think that was you ever. Because,
Right.
you know, people see our face all the time. Everybody thinks that I'm like 4'3", but everybody, like, you know, yes.
Yes.
If you've never met me, I am just under 5 foot.
Super short.
Yes. But everybody you meet, they're like, oh, my name is blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, my gosh, we've talked 100 times, but I didn't know you looked like that.
Yep. That happens a lot. There's people that you talk to that you just don't know their face, and they come up to you like, hey, we talked, and okay, sounds good. But real quickly, what?
I was just going to say, I've had people who have claimed they've watched every Nation episode, and they will be standing right next to me, and all of a sudden they're like, you're Jersey? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh my gosh, I had no it. So even when they do see your face, they don't recognize you. So.
Question from Nicholas G. One more somewhat probing question as far as advertising. What have you found helps to secure a lot of homes the best? To secure a lot of homes is to secure, as in that would be like the main word out of that would be to do good work and to follow up and to try to create a schedule with that customer as far as either scheduling them twice a year, 3 times a year. But to me, that's the biggest thing, and reminding and being in front of them once you do get their email, their phone number of services, and just trying to sell them on window cleaning, even though they've already got the windows clean. But being in front of them, I think, helps by like reminders and stuff. Hey, it's 4th of July. We get your windows clean. It's Valentine's Day. Trying to get your windows clean.
It's a President's Day sale. Let me ask you this question, though. Do you think that it is more important to do good work? Not that you can do crap work, but more important to do good work, or more important to give somebody a great experience?
Great experience.
Because every time somebody, I get this all the time when I'm talking about USPs and things, and people are like, you got to do great work. That's how you get. I don't think that's it. No one cares if your window's at like 90% or 100%. I think it's the experience. Like if you make them feel super comfortable, super awesome at the end of the thing, you gave them a, back rub and a chocolate chip cookie, like they'll remember that more than they'll remember that you got that fly carcass out of their window, One
of the best things that I ever learned was working with Jim was that when he went into a home, he was almost talking the whole time, but he was still working. But it was that which kept us with so much good stuff that we were always like, all right, Jim, you going inside? Yeah, I'm going inside. All right, I'll get the outside. Al, if you get the screens, we'll tackle that. And boom, like, and that's what you would always hear from customers is like, is Jim going to be there? Like, even if I was better at cleaning windows than him, they still wanted him because they still just wanted to talk to him. Yeah. So I started learning that after a couple of years, and boom, I turned up just like, all right, I'm talking to everybody. Like, that's my main goal. Like, cleaning my second, talk to them, make them feel super comfortable, and boom, it turned around totally.
Here's 100% the thing is that I can fall in love. Like, you really have a man crush on TJ, right? So you fall in love with him and not his company. Like, when we get people daily. If anybody doesn't know, as far as our market share goes for window cleaning resource, our market share is phenomenal. And we get, dozens of new people every single week, if not triple digits, right? But what it is that something will happen and they'll exactly mention it like, oh, I used to order from XYZ and this and this and this happened, so I just don't want to order from XYZ anymore. Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Oh, yeah. But I talked to Steve at the convention, and man, SteveO, he is such a good guy. I've learned so much from SteveO. He's just SteveO. He's SteveO. Like, people connect with you. They don't connect with a company. So if you go out there and do great work, which Jay just said, you can't have a great experience with subpar work. No one's saying subpar. But when you focus on, I'm the best window cleaner, no one else cares about that except other window cleaners. What they care about is like, oh man, Jay was here. Such a good dude. Like, oh, he's so nice. Like, I talked to that one guy, he took his shoes off. Oh, that one guy, she even showed me a picture of his bait. Like, everybody is forgetting the fact that we're a luxury business and what we provide is a experience. It's Apple. It's the reason I don't have any Apple boxes around me. It's the reason the box that an Apple thing comes in is as thick as it is. or as precise as it is. It's when you buy a new iPhone, there is 12 different like stickers on this thing you have to peel off. It's not for protection. No one can. It's not. You put it in a box. It's so that when you get the item, you can experience peeling that off. Oh, there's another one on the back. Oh, and this, like, it's the experience of buying that is what gets you more people. So if you want to secure people, it's focus on the experience, provide an experience that they're going to want to talk about.
Yes, I completely 100% agree with you. It is about the experience. That's what's going to people keep coming around. And I wanted to add something that Damien wrote that is one thing that I learned from somebody outside of window cleaning that helped tremendously, and I think is like true gold, is that people like to talk about them, ask them about them. Do not talk about yourself in your business.
Yeah.
They could care less to hear about your window cleaning business, not about your, sometimes they want to, if they start asking about you personally a little bit, share what you want to share, because that's good because you're opening up. But it's so true that people want to ask them about them, ask them if you can remember children of theirs, and just asking them how they're doing. Like, one of the things that I've seen with long-term businesses is seeing the family grow up and being there every year and almost being able to almost check in, like, hey, how's Sally doing? Hey, how's Bobby doing? And stuff like that. And that gets the conversation started, that creates that personal element with that company where somebody never wants to go to somebody else, no matter if their work is better. That's not what it's about. Yeah, exactly.
It's the fan concept too. I mean, TJ knows this. He's, I think, a Browns fan, right? I mean, somehow you still like the Browns, even if they suck, if they're great, if they're in the Super Bowl, if no one even likes them, there's still that's a fan. That's the difference between a fan and a customer. Is that, I mean, every single time we were ever done with a house, we say the exact same thing. We'd say, hey, if you see anything spot, streak, or smear, give me a call. We will come back and I will make that window look perfect. And I'm telling you, we do not ever get calls back. What I have heard is we'll go back. Oh yeah, last time that upper window right there was a big kind of like a streak there. We just wiped it off. Don't worry about it. But just this time, because they're like, you know what? I really like those guys. I don't even have to call them back. It's not about the business anymore. It's about the relationship. It's about that experience.
Yeah. And the sooner that you can realize that idea is kind of like a breaking free moment of that. I literally used to think when I worked at Fish, I was like, these people are watching me clean windows and I want to be the most badass window cleaner they've ever seen. It was such a stupid thought because it didn't matter. It really, truly didn't matter. Yes, I want to do good work, but I could have done so much more by being the guy that oh, hey, Steve's here. I want to go talk to him for just a bit. Of course, I don't want to waste time and I want to be efficient, but there is that element of that can really help. It could just help tenfold no matter what.
So I was out of the field for a while, right? But I had a couple customers who were old. I had one guy who was super, super old. And I remember because every time we go clean, I would go and just pull up. I would sit in the chair, in his rocking chair next to him, and we would talk. I'd never cleaned a window at his place ever in my entire life. But we would go and I would bring him a brand new, my company shirt, all, nice and pressed. I knew his size. I'd bring him a shirt. Oh my gosh, thank you. You're going to hire me. It was this whole thing, this bonding thing. The people in the background cleaned his windows. I don't even know that he knew their name, but he knew me and he knew kind of what we were providing. That's what you provide. And I do have a question because Joshua, the window cleaner, he didn't even want to ask me this question. He only wanted to ask you. But he said, how do you handle a customer that checks every window when you're finished? You wanted to be the best window cleaner ever. What if somebody is actually following you and checks everything? How do you handle that?
Oh, I'm totally fine with it. If it's after the job or if they're following me through the job, I just talk to them the whole entire time through it. And usually that distracts them enough. I haven't had a lot of issues with people being like, oh, look at this and look at that. I will say I had one last November where the person would just not leave me alone and were questioning every single thing that I did. There does come a time, I would say I had that with that customer. That was the first time in 5 years where I actually had to look at the customer and say, listen, if you want me to get this job done, you're going to have to let me do it my way and I'm going to get it done. If there's things you want to go over when we're done, we can go over those. And it wasn't even job. It was subcontracting, hiring for him. He wasn't even paying me. It was just something that I did for another construction company all the time. And that was the only time I had to do that. I don't ever like to get to that. But just like you said, what I always say at the end is exactly like, if you see anything and it doesn't look clean or anything like that, just let me know. I'm always around. I'm happy to come back, grab the couple windows that don't look good. It's never happened though. I've never had someone call me about it. Never ever happened. If you forgot a window, sure, that's happened. But literally though, like, I don't mind them going around. I don't mind them looking at the work. And usually what I find, and this is something I do the inside first on like every residential, so that they can have the time to start looking at windows while I'm completing the outside. And I can't even remember the last time that I had someone say, all right, let's go around and check the windows. Now, when I've worked in a crew of people, I've seen that quite a bit. All right, let me go around and check the windows, because maybe there's a new guy there they haven't seen before.
They can't connect with a group of people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what I've seen, but I really don't. If anything, I'm just kind of like, yeah, check it out, like enjoy it. Like, yeah. So,
by the way, if you haven't shared this video into Pro Window Cleaning yet, please annoy the group as much as you want. But if you have questions, definitely ask, by the way, also. Chris Simmons did say something interesting. He said, headphones on. I'm just going to blast music, so holler if you need me. That's his like phrase. Are you a headphone wearer or are you not a headphone wearer?
I am a huge headphone wearer, and it actually kind of got me in trouble. Not this past week, but so something that happens to me now because of doing sales is that when I'm out on Mondays and Tuesdays cleaning, I a lot of the time have customer service calls for WCR that if I do not take during the day at some point, by the time I get home, I'll have 2 to 3 hours of calls to make just to like keep up with everybody with my business and to do everything. I haven't even completed everything for my day today, but I was doing that and I had a number of phone calls coming in where 3 times, even being outside, the customer is just wandering, they're doing landscape and they're trying to talk to you. And I had to be like, oh, what is that? You know what? And that to me, it got to the point where I was like, all right, dude, I just gotta like I gotta stop this. Like, it's rude to the customer. Like I'm trying to be in 2 places at once where I'm at this place. I should just be here mentally. And so that happens.
See, I allowed 1 AirPod in their ear at any time. They could never have 2 because the same reason why it's illegal to drive with headphones on, you can't really hear things going around you. And that's the same concept. It's like somebody's like, oh, excuse me, pardon. And like, it could be a new customer. It could be the neighbor. It could be the daughter. It could be the homeowner. It could be the person paying you hundreds of dollars to be there. Like, for me, it was just nice to be able to at least be able to hear somebody if they wanted to say, and I could still hear music on the one side.
I once was on the inside of a dealership and I had my headphones just blasting. And I went through a doorway, and if I didn't have my headphones on, I would have heard this person coming. And we just both slammed to each other, and I had my whole 5-gallon bucket of water. Boom, got them all wet. I mean, so that was one of those ones for a while where I was like, all right, time to like turn it down a little bit. Sometimes you just get into it. Like when I was younger, you know, probably 8 years ago, when I would just be like really rocking out and doing root work, it was stupid. And I always had that message on like my iPhone that says, your headphones have been way too loud. You need to turn your volume down. Do you ever get that message?
No.
I always get that because I wear headphones probably at least 10 hours of the day.
Yeah, that's nuts. This is the greatest story that I ever had. Was this chick is getting yelled at by her mom, and I happened to be there because we're trying to onboard this new guy, and it was my normal crew who had a full day, plus they were trying to train. So I was like, there was 4 of us on this job. And this lady's screaming, we're taking windows apart. She's screaming at her daughter, and she goes, and I'm going to warn you, there's a cuss coming up. But she says, if you keep effing up, I'll mod it there. If you keep effing up, you'll turn out like these guys cleaning windows. And we're literally like all around her, like all 4 of us just like looking at each other like, are you kidding me? This chick just paid us like $700 to come clean her windows for 2 hours. And she's like that would be great if her daughter turned out like us. But yeah.
I think I found the new thing, man. It's not a 1 clip or 2 clip. It's root or route.
See, here's the thing, though. That would be because there's like 50-50 1 clip, 2 clip people, but there is
right 99%. Yeah,
unless you live in Canada or whatever, it's route.
I'm just gonna keep saying root my whole entire life. I don't care. This is it. That's
hashtag done. 1 clip. Get them while he's down, guys. Get them while he's down.
Remember. If there are 200 likes, on this video, by the next time that we come back, we are going to do a Tradpole giveaway. And if that continues, there could be even more giveaways in the future. You never know. So make it a pretty cool thing, but why not?
Why not? If you haven't yet, thumbs up the video. And since you're here and you're on YouTube already, if you haven't subscribed, which a lot of you haven't, which is shocking, subscribe to SteveO, because
please.
Now,
what do people listen to in their headphones at work? I have recently been listening to the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial all day at work and get so distracted by it that I don't even know today I did a whole entire day at work. And by the end, I was like, where was I today? My mind's been somewhere totally else.
I couldn't tell you what. I just know that Amber Heard's dog stepped on a bee. That's the only thing I know from the whole trial.
Because it's all over TikTok, tippy top.
I don't know where I've said. I know everybody's making fun of it.
Such a juicy, good, drama-filled movie that's been going on for like a month now that I just can't stop watching. I can't stop listening. And it's not, no one's going to win. Nothing's going to happen to it. But, oh, man. Obviously, nobody else is really listening to it in the comments.
Well, it's pretty popular, so somebody's listening to it. But I 0% interested in any drama at all ever. I just like
that's not drama that involves you. It's drama that involves other people. So you don't have to feel bad about it. The second you turn it off, it's gone. It's like, hey, I just got some drama in my life, but it's nothing about me. So it's great.
Do you know what kind of music I listen to? Like, if you had to guess, name 3 bands I like, what would you say? Because you're not going to get any of them. I'm not going to tell you what I like either because I'll just get ripped. But
Weezer, Jimmy Eats World, and Blink 182.
All right. Well, back in the day, you did catch me like up in my 90s, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But who?
No, but when you ask, like, what do people?
Who do you listen to?
No, it's next question comes from.
There's not even the next question. I don't even see a next question here.
I do.
Somebody asked about what are your thoughts about being tipped with the flash, but that's from a Vegas collector. So that's that's all about Vegas. So we're not even talking about that.
The window guys just said smash mouth.
Yes, smash mouth.
Smash mouth.
So, why not? Why not? Oh yeah, 5 Finger Death Punch. I heard you like that, right? That's a big one for you. Yep. Is that a real one you like?
It is. It is. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh, it is.
I do. I like that. I like Breaking Benjamin. I like the stuff that people are like, you don't like that music, but I do. But
you like hardcore? Like I don't even know what you would label that as. Would it be like?
It's technically metal, but it's not like metal.
Are you like Misfits and stuff, like Alex and Chris? See, I've never even listened to Misfits once.
Misfits sounds like somebody like taped a brick to a cat's tail and threw him in a garbage can. Like that to me is like the Misfits. It's absolutely awful. Like I just don't like that kind of music. But
it's funny. I used to listen to pretty crazy techno back in the day. That's why so many of my like videos have just heavy techno from way back. And I can't listen to it anymore. It's like this grossest thing I've ever listened to anymore. It makes me want to throw up. So there's a playlist on YouTube. It's just called like Chill and Relax. And I listen to that usually all day, except for the last month and a half.
Yeah. Huh? That's like lo-fi. See, I like electronic music in general, but like techno or house or trance, like the old school stuff, I can't listen to any of that.
It's too much.
Yeah. But I do like BPM on Sirius XM and I think a Diplo station, those kind of things, but
yeah, definitely. Lo-fi has become big on like YouTube for chill videos. That's for sure.
Yeah. Another thing on top of lo-fi is chill step. That you might like that too. Chill step is like electronic sort of dubby step, but not like super Skrillex stuff, but like it's like chill, but also has kind of some like cool melodic sounds. So
did you just mention Skrillex?
Yeah.
Like that. See, Skrillex, that was like really intense dubstep. And that was from about like 2012 to like 2016 when dubstep was just huge. But that quickly faded out because of how hardcore it is. I feel
annoying. It was over the top annoying. It was like robots having sex. Yeah. Yeah. But they took that and merged other things like chill step and trip hop and all that stuff.
Better things came of it, that's for sure.
Yes.
Well, we've really gone off here on our music choices and what we like. But
I love Joshua the Window Cleaner says I like Chemical Romance. My Chemical Romance. They're pretty good. I actually like them. But yeah, I look not like the kind of music I like. So hey.
He likes Rat. Don't know what that one
I don't know
is.
what that is. But Alan just busted out Scary Monsters, Nice Sprite. Remember that? Or I think it was
Nice
Sprite,
Spirit?
not Spirit, wasn't it? That one that something. Oh my God! What? That was that one.
Oh yeah,
You know.
yeah. There's
I'm
a
not gonna do
great
that
one.
again ever.
Oh yeah, Darude Sandstorm. Anybody? That's pretty OG original.
That's still.
My brother was huge into it all because he was born 1981. You were born when?
I was born in 1981.
1952. 1952. Yes. So, shit.
Graduated high school in 1981. Yeah.
You'd be quite a bit older. That doesn't match up at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that stuff. Like my brother, 1981, growing up in high school, I remember just hearing it all the time on his like little. I forget what he had back in the days, but yeah, we've totally lost this whole conversation.
That's awesome.
What else is going on here?
Ja Rule, come on.
Oh, Ja Rule, the thong song. That was huge back in the day.
That's not Ja Rule. That was Cisco. Dong, 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 dong. That was Cisco. Yeah. Ja Rule was he was more like raspy.
Yeah, DMX kind of style. Yeah. I think isn't DMX dead now?
I don't know.
I think DMX died. Yep.
Again, the details I could care. Like my wife gets People magazine, and like that is the most uninteresting stuff in all the world is like to find out about other people.
Well, if you guys have stayed around for this part of the conversation, you are definitely our #1 fan. So please just stay around.
So good. This is the best conversation we've had yet with everybody.
I once saw the reason why I mentioned I saw Jimmy Eats World, Blink-182, and Weezer all at Red Rocks when I was like 17 years old.
That'd be a good concert.
That was a really good concert, especially. Oh, and then Mike Nichols' favorite. Oh gosh, they sang the song "When September Ends" or Green Day. I saw them on the same night as well. Yeah. And that was really good. But seeing Blink-182, Travis Barker did the drum set where he flipped.
Yeah.
That was sick. And that was my freshman year of high school.
That was actually a Joy. Well, a lot of drummers have done that, but Joy Jordison, who is from Slipknot, used to do that. He's like rated as one of the fastest double bass drum guys, and he would do that. He'd like strap himself in and just like start spinning around, and it hurts my brain to even think about people doing that.
Those are the best. Joshua says, "What about Yellow Card? The frick is Yellow Card?
What is a Yellow Card?
That has to be some freaking
band.
Oh, Mike has seen Ted Nugent, so that's good.
Ted Nugent. It does sound like you've seen Mike, catching catfish with bottles and overalls. Ted Nugent seems like it would be up there.
Hey, real quickly, let's do this one. A good question from Cole Larson. Jersey, perfect question for you. Cole Larson. I've been working for a company here in the Springs for about 6 years now. In June, I can't decide. I want to branch out on my own or not. I don't even know where to begin. That's your biggest thing right there, is just beginning.
Yes.
As dumb as that may sound, it's just taking the leap and doing it. Really, the biggest thing is knowing that you have the budget to do it, which doesn't take much, and just laying the groundwork, as in registering your business, getting your general liability insurance, making sure you have a vehicle, and start marketing. And that's all you need to do. And then make sure that the company you're with, I always let them know you probably don't have a, oh my gosh, what's the word, man? If you worked in the same area, gosh, what is the word?
I don't know where you were going with that. Doesn't it work in the what?
So you can't, a non-compete.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
I was thinking EIN, like you were going the insurance way.
But I mean, in the Springs, there's a lot of areas down there. So I mean, down there, it's just doing it. But I would say if you're going to do it this year, I would do it really soon. Yes. Because here you're about to get into June. By the end of June, things will start to taper a little bit. July taper, pick up late August, September, October, then really taper. So if you're going to do it and you want to do it now, or plan it out so that by January 1st, you've done it and you've started a new year and you're really, marketing and trying to get customers going. That's what I would suggest doing.
My legality was January 1st because that was like, we'll go fiscal year, blah, blah, blah. But here's the big interesting thing about starting your business. Everybody is scared. Okay. 99.999% of people always start their life having a job for someone else. But they always go, well, it's way more secure, right? You tell your friends and family, like, oh, I'm going to start a business. They go, oh, cool. What's your backup plan, right? But the thing is that if I work for you, Steve, you're in control of if I have a job or not.
Yeah.
I have no control of that. But if I work for myself, I now control my destiny. I control if I make money, if I don't make money, if I fail, or if I succeed. But people have so little faith in that side of it. They have more faith that, oh, Steve's going to do the thing and he's just going to make sure I have a job all the time, which is absolute nonsense. But it's the thing that we've known from when we started jobs. So everybody always puts their faith in somebody else making sure you have a job, as opposed to just having faith that you can provide yourself to have a job.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a scary leap of, moving from being an employee with window cleaning, which probably most likely you're not just getting by, but it's that scary leap because you may not have that much. Not that I know anything of what you got, but it is that scary leap of doing it. But it really just takes doing it. And I know that's so much easier said than done.
That's the hardest part, is the doing. Like, the hardest part, the minute you do it, is going, I quit my job. Now I cut the rope on my life raft and now I'm here in the middle of the ocean, right? But then you never remember that again. Like, yeah. I remember when I started, like, to some degree, is I just remember just working. Like, you never remember that. It's like buying a big purchase, right? Like, these people want to buy a water fed system. They're like, oh man, it's like so much. You'll think of that right now, but I guarantee in 3 weeks from now, you're not going to think about how much you spent on it. You're going to think about the equipment you have. It's the same thing with diving in to business itself.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to see here if we have any more good old questions, but everyone's talking about music, but that's good.
Nickelback. They shouldn't get the crap that they got. I wasn't a huge fan, but they weren't bad.
I bought their CD when I was in high school.
They weren't bad.
That thing on my 12-inch sub.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, the old Crutchfield magazine. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Yep.
That was the Amazon of back in the day.
Oh, I know. I was going to end with, I think, a good thing by Chris Simmons, and I think he was giving a suggestion to Cole. But don't let perfection stop progress. Write out a checklist and start doing. None of it will be perfect at first. And that is that's really good advice, because nothing will be perfect. You'll mess up a lot, but that's part of the fun of it. And I think even more is the excitement of starting your own business and knowing that weight is on your shoulders. Sounds like a lot, but it's really, really exciting. And it's a lot of fun. And it will push you to places that you never thought possible. Not in a cheesy effect, but it will push you to do more in your day than you thought was possible, or push you more in a year to do what you didn't think was possible. And I think that's the really fun thing about opening your own business, or, just you're in control of everything. It's an enormous thing to wrap your mind around. But once you do, you kind of feel it definitely picks up your ego a little bit, gives you a little bit more encouragement, gets you a little cocky, which I think a little bit of cockiness is good. And confidence. Exactly. Confidence. That's a better way to say it.
But I think is when confidence annoys someone else.
That's true. Sorry. Anyways, though, but best of luck on that.
Yeah. No, but it is. Starting a business is like riding a bike in the sand. Like, you can see where you're going, but you do not know exactly how you get there. That's that same thing as like just getting into it. It will take you certain directions. You still kind of know where you're going, but it'll kind of have its own kind of thing.
Yeah. Real quickly, Alan asked, what's a good way to get solar panel cleaning jobs? I own a soft wash company and already do trad window cleaning. I would just really tell you that on all your customers that you see solar panels on, to start adding it in the bid without them asking, to see what people want. And then from there, I would just work it into your bids. If you already have a company, somebody was on here asking the same exact thing last week. Mm-hmm. And that's what we just suggested, was start adding it to your services, start adding it to the bid, start getting jobs under your belt with it. And that's pretty much it. And then if you already do trad window cleaning, what I would suggest if you're doing soft washing is to add a water fed pole system, just because that will be the quickest way to get those solar panels clean and be super efficient. I have never cleaned solar panels trad, but I would never want to clean solar panels trad. I would never want to.
No, stuff would just dry so fast. I've tried it one time. I mean, I maybe more than one time, but I just remember trying it, and it's like as soon as the mop went over, it just clouded over because it was just soap being dried onto them. But yeah, if you're, why not start a window cleaning company that then adds solar cleaning and just assume that it's on there? Every bid that you do, if there's solar panels, it's glass. Just like if there was 2 windows in the front of their house, you charge for both of those. Put it back on the same thing and let them know the benefits to why having it done.
Yeah. Real quick question from Joshua, the window cleaner. Do you have a ton of storefront jobs, SteveO? Right now, I have 3 solid days a month, but I'm actually contemplating being done with storefront cleaning. I'm considering just going only into residential, so I don't know how much longer I will be doing storefront. So that's the thing I am going to visit in 2023 is being done with storefronts and only doing residential, just to trim down time. And I'm also trimming down my service area. So I love storefronts, but I will say in the past year and a half, I've really taken a liking again to residential, just because being by myself. And I kind of like being in different places every day rather than that. My had solid 10 years of doing storefronts all the time. And I would say that I'm a little bit tired of them. I kind of like the interaction a little more. When I used to be younger, I didn't like the interactions more, but now that I like the interaction with people and with customers, I would say that I definitely go more towards the residential.
Real quick question on that is, do you make more money on residential or do you make more money on route?
Oh boy.
I'm talking hourly of production. I'm talking production drive, like the whole day. If you did 8 hours of resi and 8 hours of route, what would you make more money on?
I would actually probably make more money on route. That's just the way I've always seen things. Yeah.
Uh-oh. I accidentally just sparked something in your brain. You're like, oh, crap.
Oh, what am I doing now?
So 2023, I'm going to get rid of all my residential.
But I like the residential better, though. To me anymore, it's kind of just about fun getting out there. And that's why I'm really thinking about switching just to residential only, is because I like it. And I don't know. It's just, yeah.
I also heard from comments in this YouTube channel that you're moving to Nashville, and there was a bunch of places. So,
yep, moving everywhere. No worries about it. Yep. But I looked up Nashville, and they don't get a lot of snow, so I don't know about it anymore because I want snow.
You want snow?
I love snow. Yeah.
See, what you need to do is go somewhere close. Like if we want snow, we go drive up into the mountains where there's a bunch of snow, and then you're like, well, that was fun. And then you drive back down, and there's no snow.
That's been real. That's been good.
Different,
I love snow, man. I love
living in snow is different than playing in snow. Remember that.
That's true. But I love living in it. I love that. I love it. It's just is what it is. Well, it is. Oh my gosh. It is 6 minutes past the time. I can't believe you let this happen. How ridiculous. Yes, Jay, I'm going to move to Connecticut and I'm going to take all your work. That is exact. I'm going to be resi only, and that's it. That's it. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Well, alrighty, guys.
Cool. I do the outro because you screw up the intro all the time. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming here. Make sure if you haven't yet, give SteveO a like and a follow and a subscribe and everything else. And we both have TikToks, so why not follow us on TikTok? And of course, you know, we're reps for windowcleaner.com. So if you're buying anything, let us know. That would be absolutely amazing. And shameless plug of the thing is, if you don't have the AWC magazine, which I know a lot of you do, but some of you still don't, go and get a subscription to that.
Yes, and really, if you guys get 200 likes, at least get close to it. Share it to your friends. Share it to people who don't even know about window cleaning. Just say, Mom, like this video. Brother, like this video. Sister, like this video. And we will give away a trad pole on the next show. I
was going to say, it'd be pretty cool to just start giving stuff away. Like every week, every time we do this, somebody would win, because there's a bunch of these people who come to every single show. Why not get some free swag out of the deal? That's very, very true. We will see what happens. We will see what happens next week. But 200, let's go for 200, and let's see what happens. And we'll see you all in 2 weeks, and we'll be in June, and it'll be episode 11, lucky number 11. So lucky number 11, somebody wins the trad pool. Very good. Swag is good. All right, you guys, have a good couple weeks. See you later.